Hi everybody. Sorry about the delay. I've had about 15 messages from people wondering where I've got to and where's the next video. So here it is. So in the top flight, we've got the 5 Rasa chicks. They came from the bottom pair, down at the bottom. The hen, while she was feeding them, went to nest on the floor because I didn't put another nest in. I didn't want her to go down to nest straight away because she was obviously feeding the 5 babies, but she laid eggs. I'll explain what happened with them, but for some reason, because she laid them on the floor, she keeps trying to sit down there, even though now I've put a new nest pan in. So that's that pair. With every season, every breeding season, you're going to have your ups and your downs. So I'll go through them. In here, if you remember, was the Parva pair. But I came back, there was a couple of nests in there. I came back to find the hen dead on the floor. She had a bit of nesting material in her mouth and a half-built nest, so not too sure what happened there. So I've put a canary hen in with the cock. They're in the big flight now, this flight. She started to make a nest. Don't know if you can see. Just in there, she started to build, so hopefully they're going to be good. That was the cock that was in with this white Irish here. Her eggs were infertile, which is why I put the cock back in with the hen Goldie. So what I did, because her eggs was infertile, I've put this pair's eggs, her eggs, in with her. And again, true to form, she had 5 eggs last time, which was these 5 babies up here. And again, this one is on 5 eggs again, and they look all fertile, so I'm just going to let her do the job there. That is another pair. That was a spare hen. She's only just laid an egg this morning, so I put a dummy in, so that's that pair. That cock came from this pair up here. They've got 2 chicks, so I've moved the cock on to that pair, so those chicks are doing good. That's that pair. There's a spare cock up here for the time being. Going across to here, that's the Parva hen that wasn't looking too clever, but she's picking up, but she's still not in breeding condition. You can see that she's got a bit of black on her beak still, so I'll put a couple of nest pans in and let's see what happens. This cock is a cock that that's a native cock. That's a bird that my friends let me borrow. So I'm going to mule with him as well, but I'm going to try and put him with that Parva hen. And then down here, we've got this hen that's by herself at the moment, but she's got 3 chicks in here. She does not like getting up, but there's 3 in there anyway. So that's what's going on with these. As I said earlier, highs and lows. I'll show you a bit of a high now. I haven't cleaned this cage out because the hen is sitting, don't know if you can see down the back. Let's try and get it to focus. Just up there, we've got the native hen sitting with the Parva cock. That's the Parva cock. She's sitting on 4 eggs. She's only started sitting from yesterday, so it's a way to go with those. Right, let me go show you what's going on outside. So this is the pair outside. That's the hen on the right, cock left. The hen was on eggs, but they was all infertile. But as I said, I thought they would be due to the cock not treading every time she come off the nest. She was looking to be trod by the cock, but he didn't want no ball. He didn't basically want to play game. So I separated her. She was in the cage inside the shed for a week and a half. Ness has only just gone back in today, and yeah, she's looking pretty good. So that's that pair. Alright, so down here is the 2 oldest Rasa cocks, sorry. They're outside, so the other 5 want to know that they're definitely feeding and okay. They're coming out here with these 2. So that's this. This was the flight that the Golden Mules was in, but I got a message from a bloke not too far from me he was after some birds for his aviary, so I'll just let them go. So he's got those now. So let me go show you the other birds. Right, so we're outside. These are the bullies. As you can see, 2 nest pans in there. She looked like she was building on the right one and then stopped, and she looked like she just kept on coming over to this far side where the feed station is, and she kept on trying to lay in the seed pot up here. So I put a nest pan in here. You won't be able to see, but in here there's 4 or 5 eggs, but she doesn't seem to be sitting at the moment. She's laid those probably about 4 days ago and doesn't seem to be sitting, so I'll leave them for a while. If not, I'm gonna have to go underneath some canaries. But yeah, stunning pair. Then we go across to the chaffinches. These two I was gonna sell just to make some space up, but the hen's been carrying now, so don't look like I'll be selling these. She was building in there, and there was a nest pan over where those screws are, but then I've put a new nest pan in here the other day. I'm not too sure if she's been building, but there's nesting material in for these two, so see what happens. And then we go across to the sparrows. That's the cock to the left, hen to the right. These pair, this is where it comes down to my own mistake. Didn't look like she was sitting, so I took the nest away. There was 4 eggs in there. Only one looked like to be fertile, so I put that underneath one of the canaries, and it hatched. And the canary was feeding it for about 5 days, but then I come back to find it dead. So I'm just going to leave these two well alone, and hopefully they've continued to get on and lay eggs. So that's this. So yeah, we're back in the shed. Yeah, hen's just off the nest now. This one down here, so I'll show you the chicks. She's a really good feeder. Doesn't like coming off the nest at all. I forgot to say that there's 2 of our own chicks in here and 1 from the one that's now with the goldfinch, because she only had 1 chick hatched. So I thought, as they hatched at the same time, I'll put them all in together rather than letting the hen lay one by herself. But there's 3 in there. Nest needs changing, but yeah, you can see by the size of the crop, she's a really good feeder. So that's that pair. Let's just go show you the riser chicks. Up here, the 5, really nice. 2 nice ones there, and then the favourite one for me is this one down here. Looks like it's got like a variegated spot on its neck, but it looks really nice from afar. If it's gonna change, no, you see when it turns round, looks like a little tiger print. Just see it there. So yeah, that's my favourite so far. Bit of character. Right, so that's it so far. So the next video won't be as long. Hopefully I should have some Goldie chicks and some the Goldies, the mule pair on some eggs. So yeah, thanks for watching. Keep subscribing, keep sending all your messages. Thanks very much.